1, 2, 3, 4. Someone tweeted me yesterday and said, this is the ideal male face. I told my girlfriend about it and she used a word I had never heard in my entire life. She said, that's kind of why I like you, you're androgynous. Obviously you're a male, but sometimes you can't 100% tell if you're a male. Is that like a good thing to hear from a girl?
That's rough.
What's up, boys, and welcome to a little bit different of an episodia today. More of a Zwei in the Life episodia. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Zwei, what do you think about the Chinese Super League stuff that's going on? For those of you guys that don't know, I'll get into that in just a second. But a few of you guys in yesterday's video said, Zwei, let's hear your thoughts on the Chinese Super League. A bunch of you guys tweeted me thinking what I thought about Carrasco, Fonte, and Gaitan, namely because of something crazy that happened, I believe, 2 days ago. So for those of you guys that don't know, Carrasco, Fonte, and Gaitan all left for China pretty much together. Carrasco and Gaitan obviously together, and I think Fonte was already there for a few weeks. Might have even been there for a month or so. But in their first match versus Shanghai, they lost 8-0. So Shanghai is the team with Oscar and Hulk. I believe they're currently top of the table. I might be incorrect in saying that. We're mainly going to focus on player ratings and what would happen if the Chinese Super League players, if the Chinese Super League was actually introduced into FIFA at some point in maybe FIFA 18 or maybe even FIFA 19 if EA were able to acquire the rights. But today's going to be a fun epi where we kind of pretend that the Chinese Super League is in FIFA and what kind of player ratings we could expect from some of the best players in the league that have left in recent years. A lot of them breaking transfer fees. I think Carlitos Tevez is still, or was, the most expensive player on like £600,000 a week, ahead of Messi and Ronaldo, and now is back at Boca Juniors, but we will get back to that in just a second. You guys really love the player upgrade, player profile upgrade pick episodia. You guys absolutely smashed the like button on that epi and just showed me that you guys like the gameplay stuff on the channel as well, but from time to time do something a little bit different, maybe where we analyze something that's going on in the news, and you guys have always been supporting the Zwei in the Life series. So if you guys do want to continue seeing this on Sundays, smash that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. But like I said, we are going to pretend as if the Chinese Super League is in FIFA 18. Now, we have it with Liga do Brasil, which is not in FIFA, but we have 4 players, including Gabigol, who do have themselves cards. Carlitos Tevez is a player we'll get to, but we're going to start off with a player that was one of the most beloved players in FIFA 16, especially if you were a fan of this Serie A. It is none other than Freddie Warren, obviously Porto and Inter legend, but went to Shanghai Shenhua for a record-breaking deal at the time. Every time a new player went to China, the Chinese Super League record would be broken. 14 goals in 44 appearances, 31 years old. There's just something about the number 31 that attracts Chinese Super League teams from signing players. Have a couple youngsters in there, obviously you guys will see as we get down later on the list, but you guys will remember this 81 rated inform from FIFA 16 was almost club 80. The 90 physical, the 84 dribbling was one of the more crazy 81 rated inform cards that we've ever had. I know the formula for FIFA cards has changed over the course of the years, but this was one of the best 81 rated inform cards that we have ever seen. Now, his base card, I'm not 100% sure what it was. I think it was something like maybe a 79. But that Guarin was just absolutely filthy. So if he made it back into FIFA 19 or FIFA 18, I think his card rating would have to be something like 79, 80. He's been playing well in China, so I don't think you can downgrade him that much, but that's an interesting question of the epi. If you spend 2 or 3 years at the Chinese Super League, and even if you play well, do you deserve to have the same rating that you did when you left the Chinese Super, that you left your Serie A or La Liga or the Premier League for the Chinese Super League? Should you have something in the vicinity of that rating? I think he should probably max be downgraded -1, but I think he probably gets to hold that 80 inform, that 80 card rating. Up next, we've got ourselves Hulk, a Brazilian, obviously, was also at Porto, also 31 years old, then went to Zenit, and then his trajectory sent him to Shanghai for £320,000 a week, $16 million a year, and he managed to bag himself 22 goals in 35 appearances. You guys heard what I said. Carrasco, Fonte, and Gaitan were beaten by Shanghai, which is the club that Hulk plays for, so he's actually been playing well, so I think he probably... I don't think he deserves to be upgraded. Again, I think a lot of guys that go to the Chinese Super League get dropped from starting consideration for their national teams. At least I know that was the case with at least 2 of them. But we will remember this inform from, I believe, the 95 team of the season. I think this was either FIFA 16 or FIFA 17. I'm pretty sure it was 16. And then in 16, he did have himself a pretty decent base card as well. He had himself an 84 rated card that I think he was a right winger to ship in FIFA 16, but then he got a position change to 84 to striker. And this was his card, 86 physical. Obviously, one of the reasons he has the nickname just a hulking figure. Would like to see him if he came back to FIFA, just because he's been playing well in China. I know he's been gone for a while, but I think he'd probably get around the 83 mark for his Chinese Super League rating. So I also forgot to mention we have guys like Jonathan Vieira, Carrasco, and Gaetan. Obviously, I said that players that were in FIFA 18 to ship with, but now in FIFA 19, their status is up for debate because they are now in the Chinese Super League. We've got Paulinho, Adrian Ramos, who left the Chinese Super League and are now back in the big leagues, both playing obviously in La Liga. But we have other players. Another Brazilian, Alex Teixeira, you guys will remember him, 15 million euros to Jiangsu Suning. Third time in 10 days when he had left that the transferred record had been broken. Now, Teixeira had himself a cam card, which I remember doing an epi on all the way back when. And it was a pretty beastly card, 89 pace, 88 dribbling, and 80 shooting. And then his base card, again, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I think he probably deserves to be around an 81 or 82. He's playing very well. I think he has something like 15 goals and 30 or so appearances. So Alex Teixeira, I don't think deserves to be downgraded that much. Up next, we've got Jackson Martinez, who might be the biggest Chinese Super League bust. Went for 37.5 million pounds to Evergrande. Again, another 31-year-old, and was left out. I believe he was currently cut, just as of about a couple weeks ago, was cut from this Chinese Super League side and is probably going to be looking for work elsewhere. You're talking about a guy that had the world in front of him and then just was not able to deliver, in large part due to injury, so it's a little bit unfair. But Jackson Martinez, of all players, not only did he leave for the Chinese Super League, but he wasn't able to succeed there for a confluence of reasons, and for that reason, I think he deserves a downgrade. We've got one of the channel favorites, Alex Mrs. Kitzel Witzel, obviously left Zenit just like Hulk did. Scored the first ever, I forget the name of the club that he's with, but scored their first ever goal when he made the transfer. I couldn't, again, and this was a player I couldn't find details on his transfer fee and wages, so maybe you guys let me know in the comments below. But these are all guys that went for a lot of money. They didn't go for the opportunity to see China or to play in a lower division and had nothing to prove. These are all guys that were at the peak, pretty much at the peak of their career, if not maybe in the twilight stages. But Mrs. Kitzel, I believe, is maybe 27, 28 years old and could come back to one of the big leagues. Still had the 71 pace. Again, the formula changed a little bit, but he had, just on that threshold, he had the 74 long shot, 78 shot power with the chemistry style, was able to do a little bit, and really good dribbling for a player that was 6'1", had the medium work rates, really good player for Zenit. And again, one of those players who just decided to fall off the face of the earth. Mrs. Kitzel in China, no sign of him coming back to one of the big leagues. Up next, we've got Alexandre Pato, and it seems like it was eons ago that he was lighting it up for Milan. I think he had something like 60 goals on 120 appearances. He's 29 years old now, left for 15 million pounds to Tianjin, and has 15 goals in 24 appearances. So if he decided to come back, I don't think he should take that big of a hit. I'm thinking maybe a 79 rated card if the Chinese Super League was an 18, or if he comes back to another club in FIFA 19. But that is the main question of the epi. On any of these ratings that I'm giving, you guys maybe let me know if leaving for the Chinese Super League should mean that they get downgraded massively. Up next, we've probably got the most famous transfer because he was one of the first to do it, Carlitos Tevez. He spent 1 year in China, reportedly making 630,000 pounds a week, more than Messi, more than Cristiano Ronaldo. Was in good form for Boca before he left. Went to the Chinese Super League, did okay there. It wasn't exactly lighting it up, but did okay. And then now is currently back at Boca Juniors. I think he has 3 goals in 5 appearances, so he's in pretty decent form. So I don't think that Carlitos Tevez should take that big of a hit. So let's take a look at his most recent card, and I think it was an 85 rated inform in FIFA 16 or 17, 83 pace. We just need that card back. We just need him back at Boca just to get that one inform so we can have like an 85, 86 rated card. Would be absolutely awesome. But Carlos Tevez, obviously, arguably one of the most famous transfers to ever go. And then we finish off with Oscar, who arguably was probably one of the more confusing ones. Went for, obviously, 400,000 pounds a week is crazy. That's life-changing money. Still only 26 years old. Left for 60 million pounds, and had himself, I believe, most recently an 83 rated card. The fact that he's only 26 years old, I think, goes against him, and for him goes against him because it's like he left in the prime of his career, like Carrasco did leave Atletico Madrid, but in the same sense, he's still young. 83 rated card. I think maybe an 83, 82 minimum is what they would give him if the Chinese Super League was in FIFA 18. And again, that's a question. Do these players get downgraded massively because they're in a way lesser league, or do they maintain the same league ratings? Last but not least, we've got one of the most mythical creatures in all of Ultimate Team history, Ramiro Santos de Nacimiento. Obviously, over 260 caps, I believe, for Chelsea. Went to Jiangxing Xinyu, was one of the first players, I believe he was one of the first 3 of the European beasts to go on over to the Chinese Super League. It was like 25 million pounds or something like that, and ended up was joined by Alex Teixeira, who I believe actually surpassed that one as well. But you guys will remember his card, Ramirez, the 88 pace, the insane defensive midfielder. He had 75 shooting, he even had 67 finishing, but the 88 pace and then 94 stamina. Didn't have any strength to speak of, 59 strength, so not sure how he would survive, given that was almost what, 3 years ago? It was FIFA 16 when he had his last card. 80 rated card. I'm gonna have to say, because it's been such a long stretch of time, he hasn't been in a big league for about 3 years, so I would probably have to bump him down. I think he's probably gonna maintain some of that 75, some of that pace. I think we'll bump him down to 85 pace, I think is the lowest you could do it. As a matter of fact, I think he's currently 30, so he just hit 30, so I don't know. EA do like to do those massive pace downgrades, so I could even see them bumping him down to 83, maybe a 78 rated, 78 overall midfielder, going down to maybe 84, 85 pace, even lower than that, because he did hit 30 while he was in China. There is a rumor that he was going to go to Inter in January, but I haven't seen anything happen there. I remember way back in December, I read an article saying Ramirez was going to go to Inter, and everyone was really excited because the winter and summer transfers, obviously, but not sure what's going to happen with that. Though some honorable mentions would be Lavezzi, who's 32, most definitely would get like a -3, maybe -4 downgrade, left for 400,000 pounds a week, and then Graziano Pele, not obviously. Was it making more money than maybe Pele ever did? 300,000, I was about to say coins, 300,000 pounds a week. Graziano Pele, I believe, is still there. But that is going to do it, boys. We've got what would be the Chinese Super League in FIFA 18, and then possibly, if EA get the rights to the Chinese Super League in FIFA 19. We saw in the most recent Team of the Week, there was a player, Torres, I believe, who is in the Chilean league, and they actually took his inform out of FIFA. If you have his card, you still have it, but you can't pack him or buy him unless someone lists him up. Again, the Chilean league was meant to be in FIFA 18, and I don't think it made it in, obviously. And then we have the likes of Liga do Brazil, which technically is not in the game, and then also the Chinese Super League, which we have a bunch of players in the database that could possibly be in FIFA, but are not, because EA do not have the licensing for it. But anyway, boys, that is going to conclude the epi. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little bit different of a discussion, talking about the Chinese Super League and what would happen if these players were available in 18 and then possibly 19. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys would like to see the Chinese Super League in FIFA 19. I know I would, because it's going to bring us some sweet new kits. I know some of these teams have some pretty sweet kits, but like I said, that is going to do it for the epi. You guys let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Maybe have a little bit of a discussion. If you guys did enjoy the epi, hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I will see you guys for another upload tomorrow. Till next time, boys. Tschüss. Later. Ade.